stay with this because I'm pleased to say that I'm joined in the studio by His Excellency Mr. Yashwardhan Kumar Sinha, who is India's High Commissioner to the UK. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you.
And your thoughts as you sit here now, India's High Commissioner to this country, marking 70 years. What goes through your mind about how your country has travelled in that time?
Well, I think this 7 decades have been quite a journey for India, and I think we'd like to celebrate what we've achieved in these last 7 decades. We're justifiably proud that we are the world's largest democracy and now the fastest growing large economy in the world. And
you have, as so many people do, you have stories of your own and experiences of your own, that your family were caught up in partition. What are their reflections today, and what is your family history that you remember on a day like this?
Well, my wife's family, actually, they're the ones who were really caught up. My mother-in-law was studying at the Lahore College for Women in Lahore, and she was evacuated and brought to Delhi just before partition. And my father-in-law's factory was burned down in Amritsar. But other than that, my father was an army officer, and he was on the staff. He was the staff officer, actually, to Lieutenant General Sir Dudley Russell, who was the CNC of the Delhi and East Punjab Command. So he actually witnessed some of the horrors of partition.
And you talk about how proud you are that India is the world's biggest democracy. Narendra Modi, of course, has been talking today, positive language from him, as we would expect, but there are still enormous challenges, aren't there? And is there a recognition of that?
Absolutely, because India is a country of 1.25 billion people. Considering what we were on the 15th of August 1947 and what we are today, obviously we made giant strides. But then the work is only half done. We have a long way to go, and we recognize that. And that is why the Prime Minister has laid out an extremely ambitious agenda for economic growth and development, and to ensure that India actually assumes its rightful place in the Committee of Nations.
It's not just about economics, though, is it? It's border issues, it's the treatment of women. There are still many areas that need specific attention, aren't there?
Certainly, but you mentioned treatment of women. I think there are very few countries where a space program is run by a large number of women. In fact, we're very proud of our women scientists. They played a hugely important role in the Mangalyaan mission, the Mars Orbiter mission, and recently in launching a world record of 104 satellites into space. We've had women, a distinguished lady as our president. We've had women prime ministers, chief ministers, etc. Well, of course, we need to do much more, but I think our law, in a very robust and vibrant democracy, takes care of the issues of any sort of discrimination.
But that's a disconnect, isn't it? Because you've outlined fantastic examples of remarkable achievements by women, and yet there are so many who suffer sexual assault, who can't get help. There is a disconnect there, isn't there?
But that is why the government is so actively involved in ensuring the safety and security of women and promoting schemes specifically targeted at uplifting the weaker sections of society, including women.
What's your ambition for your country? Let's say for the next 10 years. What would you like to see in a decade from now if we were chatting?
Well, that's a difficult question to answer. We are already among in terms of purchasing power parity, our GDP is now number 3 in the world. In terms of nominal GDP, we're in the top 7 or 6, depending on whether the pound sterling rises or falls. But I would certainly hope that India would be a prosperous country, a country where everybody is able to benefit from the fruits of development and growth. And that is exactly what the government is trying to do in India.
Very good to have you with us, sir. We're very grateful for you being here with us on this day. Thank you very much indeed, His Excellency, India's High Commissioner to the UK. Very good to have you with us. Thank you very much indeed.